Hi there, this is Jason here from the Nathaniel School of Music. In this video, I'm going to try and show you how to prepare yourself for a mix. So for that, we have a session here with about 70 odd tracks, and basically what I'm going to try and show you are things like organizing your session such that you can find your way quickly from track to track and from point to point in the song. So to start off with, we are going to work with colors and see how we do that in Pro Tools, which is the software I'm using for this tutorial. So the first thing I like to do is to uh, color my drum group, give it a darker color, and similarly you could color uh, the claps with one color, and as you can see it's immediately becoming a lot more easy to access. Guitars, lead vocal I usually give a red color, bass guitar tracks, harmonies I think I'm going to go with a green, and this is one part of the chorus which we've overdubbed. Just going to give it a brighter color. Then you have your double tracked vocals, giving it blue, and then the brass section, so I'll give a color. Finally our percussion. So once the tracks are colored well, it's also good to arrange your tracks in your session such that you're working with similar information, uh, and you don't have to keep moving all over the place to solo a track, mute another track, and so on. So I usually like to group the percussion tracks together, uh, so, and also the bass track with the drums. So first thing I'm going to do is select all the bass tracks and move them to the drums. And I also have shakers, hand claps. So I'm probably going to move the hand claps a bit more closer. There's also a piano track somewhere in the middle which I'm going to give another color. Bongos. So the percussions are all lined up nicely here. Guitars, lead vocal. I usually like to move the lead vocal somewhere in the front. And here's how it looks. It's a lot more organized now. Uh, it's even a lot more organized in my edit window as well. So that's about coloring and arranging my tracks. Now, right after that, what I do is I group similar tracks together. For example, the guitars. So, what grouping does is, as I'll show you now, if I make a group and call it guitar, I can move the volume of all the 6 guitar tracks with respect to each other, and I guess that's what you want to do. So what I'm going to do now is delete that group and just group the 3 guitar tracks here and then another 3 here. The reason I'm doing that is these 3 are one performance and these 3 are also one performance. So it works better to group it that way. So I'm going to create guitar 1 and guitar 2. Likewise, I'm probably going to group all the harmonies as one. Call it harmony. There's also a point in the song where everyone goes dream. vocal DT, and trumpets, and then the descant horn section. And I've also missed out the bass parts. There are two similar bass parts here. Bongos, shakers, and finally hand claps. So here are all the groups which I just created. And what grouping allows you to do, apart from moving the volumes down together, you can do a lot of things to the tracks and they share the same relationship. For example, solos. You just have to hit one of these solo buttons and all of the instruments get soloed. Same thing with mute. It doesn't work for pan uh, as it should be. The same thing with shakers. So as you can see, everything which I want grouped are grouped. The harmonies, and you'll even see in the edit window as I'm going through my session, let's say the guitars, instead of selecting this guitar track, it's selecting the entire group. So grouping is something you definitely want to sort out before you start mixing. It can definitely be a time saver. So along with grouping, what I also like to do is to send the output of all these similar tracks to a bus, to an internal bus in Pro Tools, and create a sub mix, you could say, of all of these similar tracks, which are all guitar tracks. So let's say I want to perhaps make the guitars brighter. I don't want to add an EQ to all of these guitar tracks. Rather, I would want to add an effect which applies to all of these 6 parts together. So in order to do that, uh, I've selected all of these tracks and holding down the Alt Shift key combination together, I click on new track, and I can now name the aux track which is going to go to, calling it guitars, and there you see an aux track just got created, and this aux track gets the sound of all of the guitars which are shown with this pink color here. So I'm just going to play it for you so that you can hear what's going on. I'm going to solo all of these tracks, the aux as well as the guitar. So as you can see, if I mute this, the guitars are gone. Another good thing to do is to solo save the aux track so that you don't have to keep hitting solo or whenever you want to listen to only the guitar tracks. So this allows me to just mute it whenever I wish. And you can do a lot of things while mixing. For example, just to quickly give you an idea, perhaps I want to pan these guitars to the right, to the left, and these guitars to the right, and let's hear it. And perhaps I want to make the entire guitars of my song a bit more brighter. So I'm just going to call up the 7-band EQ which comes with Pro Tools, and you'll see that the whole thing gets brighter because I've assigned the effect to the guitar aux track, which is getting the inputs, or which is getting a feed from all of the individual sound sources. As you can see, all the guitars have become brighter. Probably add some boom if you wish. Add a filter to remove off some lows. You get the idea. So, grouping was very important, no doubt. It allowed us to select whichever tracks we wanted to very quickly as a group. But bussing and sending uh, sub mixes to individual aux tracks is also something I would recommend before you start your mix. What I'm going to do is to try and uh, send out and or create sub mixes of all my groups which I've created earlier. So I'm going to start with the bass. The same process, new track, call it bass. Let's move that closer. Bongos. Shakers. Claps. I don't need to group my lead vocal, piano, guitars I just showed you. I think I'm going to send all the backing vocals just for demonstration purposes to one track. I'm going to call it backing. So it created an aux track, and the entire set of harmonies and backing vocals are all controlled by this one fader here, or this one knob here, this one track here. So I'm just going to show you that for a moment, going to a point in the song. And I have the power to control it just through this track here. The same thing, you could go over, add some brightness to the whole thing. Of course, at this point, nothing is mixed. I would have normally panned all this, all over the place. But you get the idea. So we've now bussed it out, we've now grouped it, colored it, and arranged it. It looks pretty good for mixing. I can probably now start by panning the tracks to wherever I want and start adding some effects and balance everything together like you would do in a mix. But what I showed you just now will definitely help you save time when you're mixing, especially when you're trying to find a track